In modern society, most of our jobs, whether they're manual jobs or whether they're stationary jobs, they keep us in positions that keep our body compressed and tight for very long periods of time. And over a lengthy period of time, what happens is the muscles around the back, the joints, the nerves, they become very squeezed and tight. And when that happens, they don't let proper blood flow move in. And then think if you were putting sandpaper on a pasta noodle. It creates friction and stress around the joint surfaces and around the nerves, and that becomes causation for your pain. Now, as a manual osteopath, mechanical back pain is a big part of our clinical treatment. Now, the Eldoa exercises that I've found over the last decade they are very effective for people because what the exercises do is they reintroduce space between all the individual joints. They free up the muscles so that they're not creating friction around the nerves, so that you get back your quality of life, your acts of daily living become easy again, you get back out into your recreational activities, and it's easy to go dancing again if you want. So we'll now move to showcasing a few of the exercises specific from Eldoa for mechanical low back pain. Now we're going to introduce a series of exercises for mechanical low back pain. These are very specifically targeted exercises, so the cueing in the instruction that you'll see here, follow it as closely as you can. Now, first exercise, we title it for our L3 and our L4 lumbar vertebrae. So, for your home practice, you might be setting yourself up with an exercise mat against your wall, or hey, maybe you purchase a treatment table. I have a number of clients that have done that to make their home practice more accessible, especially if they're in very either acute or chronic pain. You sort of figure out what works best for you. But for this first exercise for L3 and L4, you'll have your back as flush to the wall as you can. You'll separate your legs with them extended forward so they're about as wide apart as the distance between your hips. And again, an easy way to crudely measure that for yourself at home is to keep from the outside of your ankles lined up with the outside or the bony side of your hip. Having that width and that space will bring you in the best margin to affect the right change we're looking for. The next step you'll do is begin to turn your feet outwards. Perfect. The third step you'll do is just bend your knees a few inches, even a little bit more. Perfect. You want your legs almost sort of 3/4 of the way extended to help to target in to the right region of joints. Perfect. And then you're going to externally rotate the knees and the feet as much as you can outwards. Perfect. And now you'll start to extend both your arms just straight forward. Perfect. Your chin will tuck, your low back will flatten to the wall as much as you can. Perfect. And you'll extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Hold right there. For most individuals, when they're dealing with an actual event of mechanical low back pain, this setup alone is going to cause a tremendous amount of stretch and positive sensations. Now, once you have all these steps set up, we're going to just begin breathing deep inhales and deep exhales. And what you want to do is just continue to scan through the body and through the different little positional cues that we've talked about. See if you can keep turning out your knees and your feet a little bit more. Perfect. And notice how it'll let the arms extend up a little bit higher. Perfect. Now, for your home practice, you'll notice that you'll feel a lot of effort right in this region around your belly button, like that somebody is hoisting you up from just underneath the ribs, while at the same time they're pulling the body down from just underneath the navel region. That'll indicate that you're getting very close to the specific setup. But again, after working with these exercises with many, many people over a decade, if you're not doing it 100% right, it still gives you all the great benefits of the exercises. And now we're going to just slowly release the position, and I will always underscore release the exercises slowly, because again, you've got all these nerves, and when we're stretching and elongating the body, what we don't want to do is just compress and collapse everything together so it just pushes back onto the body. And you can let everything relax, Ryan. And we'll take a few breaths here. Now we'll set up for our second exercise in our mechanical low back pain series, and this one will be targeted towards your L4, your L5 vertebrae. And for most individuals, especially in North America, the areas where you're more than likely to have an injury occur to your back is in the L4, L5, and L5S1 region. Think right where your underwear sits and about an inch or two above that. These are the most common areas where people get pain. So what you'll do is you're going to bend your knees as wide as you can till your legs almost form a kind of diamond position. Perfect. Now, very important for this exercise, you'll have your heels about as wide apart as your sit bones. Now, think about when you're sitting on bleachers or on a very hard chair and you feel those very bony points in your buttocks. Those are your sits bones. They represent the true width of your pelvis. You want your heels to line up with those. And then you're going to flex your feet. Perfect. Back will be as flush to the wall as it can be. Chin is tucked. Again, we're going to extend both arms straight forward. Now that you're in the basic setup of the exercise, begin to extend the arms up until you feel a very clear sense of pull and effort. You might have heard that gentle sigh of work occurring.
Yeah, it's here now.
Yeah. Now, once you get into the setup again, you're going to hold this for approximately 90 seconds for your initial repetition. And the other thing I'll stress for the individuals that are practicing this and maybe just setting up in this position because of how acute you are is difficult, get yourself a set of textbooks, a phone book, or a small stool, anything under 7 inches in height, and sit yourself on it and position yourself against the back, with your back against the wall. This will encourage your body to move into the correct mechanics that we're looking to establish so you can get all the benefits of the exercise. 4 more big, deep breaths. Because again, speaking from a perspective as a manual therapist who works both in treatment and in corrective exercise coaching, initially you might need to adjust the exercises a little bit different than what is being demonstrated here. You figure out what is unique for you, or you just reach out and I'll give you some guidance. So we're now just going to start to relax the exercise and relax the position of the legs. And again, always underscore for yourself, move slowly with these exercises. We're going to set up for the third exercise that we'll showcase to deal with mechanical low back pain, and it's specific for what's titled our L5, our S1 region. So what I'll ask for Ryan to do is you're going to change your position, come to lay on your back with your buttocks as flush against the wall as you can, and your legs straight up the wall. And fun fact, if you go to set this exercise up and it's very difficult for you to get your legs up the wall, you're dealing more likely with an SI joint irritation. So 60 to 80% of the people at some point in their life will experience mechanical back pain. 15 to 30% of those people are really actually dealing with an SI joint irritation. Again, if you're having issue with getting your legs straight up, please practice the SI joint irritation video and then move to this sequence of exercises. Now, once you're in position with your legs straight up the wall, you want to separate them again about the width of your hips apart. There's 2 ways we can think about creating that alignment. From the bony point on the front of your hip to your knee to your ankle stays in one long line, or you line up from that bony, round bony protrusion on the side of your thigh and your ankle bone stay in one long line. Now we'll extend both arms towards the ceiling. Palms are up, fingertips will turn to the sides of the room. Next to that, you're going to flex your feet towards your abdomen. Perfect. All good. And then we're going to internally rotate the legs. Perfect. And connect that a bit more through the knees as well. Perfect. And then create a bit more straightening through the limbs. Big breath. Flattening the back, tucking the chin, extending the arms back. The ideal we want to work to is being able to bring the arms beside your ears, but that's a working goal. What I've found for most individuals, the first few weeks you practice these exercises, this or at this range might be all you need to affect dramatic change and give yourself a myriad of improvements that get you back a lot of quality of your life. The reason we're ideally trying to get the arms straight back, the legs straight up, and as turned in as we can is because that will just represent over time very good joint mobility and joint health, and that will indicate a very just good, healthy ranges of motions in the joint, and that'll be the preventative aspect of what these Eldoa exercises do. A few more big breaths. Again, like with every exercise, on your initial hold, let's work for 90 seconds or about 10 to 12 deep inhales and exhales. Again, for the state of our videos, we'll have them a little bit shorter. Good, keep flattening the back. Perfect. And again, I underscore this, once you go to release the exercise, take it apart just like you put it together, piece by piece, and we'll relax the arms, legs, and the position as a whole. Those are the three main exercises that, from a clinical perspective, what I've watched and witnessed in people, make a significant difference to improving acts of daily living, getting people back into their recreational activities. There is also 3 other exercises that'll be attached in a static manual. Please review and practice those also.